Extreme weather has caused record-high heat waves, 486 sudden deaths and wildfires in cold Canada, while freezing Siberia is also experiencing a 1 in a 10,000 years disaster, along with the biggest glacier melt in a century, all take us another step closer to a climate Armageddon. In addition to the imminent catastrophe due to severe weather, the post-pandemic commodities boom resulted in surging coal prices, pushing 17 provinces or regions in China to curb electricity use. China is getting caught in the worst energy shortage since 2011, and it's affecting the global trade. The decline of international tourism due to the coronavirus pandemic could cause a loss of more than $4 trillion to the global GDP for the years 2020 and 2021. Fortunately, the silver lining of this cloud is that millions of jobs and a shortage of applicants makes airlines, restaurants, and hotels unable to fill open jobs, undermining efforts to capitalize on resurgent consumer demand around the world.
Hello, and I'm Wei Li. Thanks for watching FUNDAY News. Here are some top stories from this week. We begin with reports of extreme weather.
In Canada, province of British Columbia recorded a staggering temperature of 49.6 degrees Celsius on June 30th. There were 486 sudden deaths during the heat wave between June 25th and June 30th. And a wildfire has burned 90% of the village of Lytton in British Columbia, while the mayor issued the evacuation order advising residents to leave the community and go to a safe location. In the U.S., President Joe Biden announced new federal response plans during a meeting with governors from western states facing a record-breaking heat wave. He said, "Right now, we have to act and act fast." Meanwhile, a heat wave is causing the biggest glacier melt in Washington state in a century. And in higher latitude Russia, wildfires are sweeping through parts of Siberia in Yakutia, and thick smoke clouds have been detected on July 2nd, where the burning area covers more than 700 square kilometers. World Meteorological Organization in its June report said this unprecedented event is having multiple major impacts: heat stress in people, animals and vegetation, air quality, pollutants due to hot, stable air, forest fire risk, possibility of landslides caused by glacier melting in mountains, damages and malfunctioning of infrastructure and transport systems not prepared for such high temperatures, and many other social and economic risks.
China is in the middle of a huge power shortage due to the extreme weather. Surging demands for energy and strict limits on coal usage delivers a triple blow to its electrical grid.
It's a problem that could last for months, straining China's economic recovery and affecting global trade. In Guangdong province, a manufacturing center responsible for $1.7 trillion, or more than 10% of China's annual economic output and a bigger share of its foreign trade, has been rationing power for over a month. The restrictions have forced companies across the province to shut down for a few days a week. Some local authorities are warning that power rationing could last through the end of the year. Media reports that it's the worst energy shortage in China since 2011, when droughts and surging coal prices pushed 17 provinces and regions to curb electricity use. As a result, growth in China's June factory activity dipped to a 4-month low on higher raw material costs, a shortage of semiconductors, and a COVID-19 outbreak in the major export province of Guangdong, amid wider supply chain disruptions in Asia. The chip supply crunch has hammered other manufacturing powerhouses in Asia. Industrial output in Japan and South Korea slumped in May from the previous month as auto production declined due to semiconductor shortages, adding to concerns of flagging momentum in their respective economies. Japan's industrial output posted the biggest monthly drop in a year in May, as a sharp fall in car production threatened to undermine Japan's economic recovery just weeks before Tokyo is set to host the Olympic Games.
Other than extreme weather, our economy has been severely impacted by the pandemic, with direct effects from the lockdowns. According to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, or UNCTAD, global economy could lose over $4 trillion due to COVID-19's impact on tourism, and without the widespread adoption in vaccination, will only cause further economic losses.
An UNCTAD report published on June 30th, jointly presented with the UN World Tourism Organization, says international tourism and its closely linked sectors suffered an estimated loss of $2.4 trillion in 2020 due to direct and indirect impacts of a steep drop in international tourist arrivals. A similar loss may occur this year, the report warns, noting that the tourism sector's recovery will largely depend on the uptake of COVID-19 vaccines globally. According to UNWTO, international tourist arrivals declined by about 1 billion, or 74%, between January and December 2020. In the first quarter of 2021, the UNWTO World Tourism Barometer points to a decline of 88%. According to the report, the asymmetric rollout of vaccines magnifies the economic blow where tourism has suffered in developing countries, as they could account for up to 60% of the global GDP losses. The tourism sector is expected to recover faster in countries with high vaccination rates. But experts don't expect a return to pre-COVID-19 international tourist arrival levels until 2023 or later. The main barriers are travel restrictions, slow containment of the virus, low traveler confidence, and a poor economic environment.
SARS-CoV-2, short for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2, is a virus mutated from the coronavirus disease of 2019, commonly known as COVID-19. To date, there are 7 major variants. Now, we know the alpha variant of the virus is also called the British variant, while beta variant, first found in South Africa, is called the South African variant. As for the gamma variant uncovered in Brazil, is called the Brazilian variant. Following the same logic, the latest Delta variant found in India is also known as India variant. So far, the Delta variant is the most dangerous one. However, there are 3 major variants that may be of concern.
The Epsilon variant was first found in California, USA. It's called California variant, codename CAL20C. It actually was first detected in March 2020, but was designated as a variant of concern on March 17, 2021. It has 2 distinct lineages, B1427 and B1429 in clade 20C. But Global Virus Network said it is not clear whether this variant enhances the disease severity, and vaccine efficacy against these variants needs to be confirmed by clinical trials. The last 2 identified variants of the virus are the Kappa variant, with the first outbreak in India in October 2020, but not yet designated as a variant of concern. Kappa is the 10th letter of the Greek alphabet. And the last one is the Eta variant found in Nigeria on December 11, 2020, and it's not designated as a variant of concern for now. Eta is the 7th letter of the Greek alphabet.
Taiwan's Central Epidemic Command Center, CECC, said no new cases of COVID-19 originated from a cluster outbreak in PingDong, featuring the highly infectious Delta variant of the virus were reported, indicating that it has been contained.
The Central Epidemic Control Center said the cluster in the southern county has led to 12 confirmed infections so far, 8 of which have been determined to be caused by the Delta variant. The CECC said that the cluster has been contained based on follow-up contact tracing and testing. Health Minister Chen Shih-chung, who heads the CECC, said a total of 178 people linked to the PingDong cluster have been isolated at home, and the results of their PCR tests all came back negative. CECC data indicated that as of June 27th, there were 1,500 people in PingDong tested for COVID-19, and none had positive PCR tests.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching and joining us on FUNDAY News. Let's make every day a fun day. I'm Wade Lee, your host, and I'll see you next time.